So the political term of the day is affordability. What does that mean? What are we talking about? We're talking about literally how much it costs you to go get gas, for you to go get groceries, how much it costs for you to do anything. And any reasonable person can look at what's happening right now and see that prices are going up and the economy just is not going in a good direction. And and the Republicans, they haven't changed any policies. They're still going on the same thing they always have. They want to lower taxes, they want to lower regulations, and they want to lower interest rates. They think for some reason if they lower interest rates, that'll help the housing markets and it'll help the car market. That's just what they believe. So, and Fox News today, I just watched a quick segment on them and they just are recognizing now that affordability is an issue and that they need to do something about it and that maybe their dear leader is not quite getting it. This segment that I saw on Fox News really illustrates that temperament that, like, hey, dear leader Donald Trump, you're kind of messing up here and maybe we should maybe focus on this and do this, or because how they're doing. I think it's good to go into Fox News every now and then and just look at things from their perspective and see what they're working on, because they got their talking points, just like everyone else. And I think it's important to know where they're coming from and to be able to meet that head on. So let's dive in. Good old Fox News.
Right, good morning, and here we go. President Trump taking his economic message on the road, what he told folks in Pennsylvania last night about his efforts to try and cut costs for Americans across the board. This as we await a big decision from the Fed today. So,
Say today.
God, I was looking for the news to get just clips of this because I started watching it last night, and it's just one of his. This is just one of his speeches that he makes when he's on the campaign road. Same thing. Like, you got the bleachers behind him of people that are just all the most caricatures of whatever MAGA is, and then he just like drones on and on and on about nothing. It's like whoever goes through and gets clips out of these speeches they're doing God's work, because it hurts your brain. And that's true with most presidents, and that's true honestly with most humans after 90 minutes. But Donald Trump is really bad. This guy just goes on, and these people that are there just love this shit.
No higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message. They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages.
So that was part of the message. Meanwhile, in just a few hours, the Fed will announce its final interest rate decision of the year. Now, the president's been hammering Chairman Powell for not making a faster move on the rate cuts, but they've made two. Today will likely be number 3 in a row. Mark Meredith begins our coverage, begins our day, as we say, live from the White House. Hey, Mark, good morning.
Bill and Dana, good morning to you both. The White House knows people want to talk about the economy. Millions of Americans are struggling to pay credit card debt, student loans, balance the cost of living, all things people are facing right now. So the White House admits they are moving to a PR effort to let people know their concerns are being heard here in Washington.
I can't go to hoax because they'll misconstrue that. But they use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability. And everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No. Prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country.
Killing me.
As the Wall Street Journal points out today, the affordability issue could severely damage Republican prospects in the midterms, and it could also sink the Trump presidency. Today, the Federal Reserve will wrap up a 2-day meeting where another interest rate cut is expected. But the big question is, will we see more rate cuts next year? And we'll look for any comments about how the Fed feels about the economy overall. Today, top administration officials are arguing rate cuts will help the housing market.
We need the Fed to cut rates. We need to continue to deport illegals that are taking houses from the American people.
So Scott Turner, this guy is not a smart person. Okay. Anyway, they think that what we keep on hearing is that if they cut interest rates, so the reason why I haven't bought a house is not because that the house that used to be is now $1 million. It's that I can't get a house without 8% interest. The issue, they're both an issue. Like, we need better interest rates, but the issue is not that. The issue is the price of the house. That's what needs to be addressed. And also, there's less housing because of illegal immigrants. I live in San Diego. There's no illegal immigrants buying houses.
Very intentional and focused about it at HUD and across the administration.
Fox polling shows a majority of Americans still not happy with where the economy stands, and those numbers really have not changed much in a year.
Working class Americans, everyday Americans, hardworking American taxpayers are struggling in the Trump economy to live paycheck to paycheck. Can't thrive, can barely.
Trump economy. We're going to make that one stick, guys.
Speech was focused on the economy. The president touched on a number of different topics, including efforts to restrict immigration further from certain countries. And Bill, he had some pretty fresh attacks on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota.
Okay,
Bill.
about an hour and a half left, Pennsylvania, based on my clock. Watching, Mark, thank you so much for that. Nice to see you. Remember now the
sure he
message from the
did.
Trump team. They have set up the big, beautiful bill to go into action starting January 1. So here's a bit more from the president on that and more last night.
We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking Pennsylvanians with the largest tax cuts in American history. That's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax.
Things help me.
And all of that kicks in on January 1st. You know, it hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, great, and it hasn't yet, and it's amazing.
And so on the big, beautiful bill, what they were trying to do is to say, just be patient. Starting in January, you'll start to see things like this. The no tax on tips and overtime, there's a max reduction for tips is $25,000. So imagine if you are somebody who uses tips as part of your salary or to make your living, that will have an impact. The senior deduction, you have to be 65 years old. It phases out at $75,000.
The no tax on tips. That one myself.
But again, for people who are saying gas prices, which are lower, but that food prices are higher, that it's hard for them, that might help as well. There's a no tax on car loan interest. Now, that can be helpful, but what might be even more helpful is what they announced last week, which is they're doing away with some of the EPA rules on these car and fuel mileage. That actually will help bring the cost of cars down probably even more. And then a child tax credit expansion. That's very bipartisan. A lot of people like this. A lot of people love to see good economic news, but I would say Josh Holmes, our next guest here. Josh, you know communications very well. To me, economic is one of the hardest things. If the economy is great, everyone feels it. If it doesn't feel so great, it's hard to convince people that it's going so well. One question for you. How important is it to find the right ratio for President Trump to say, look what I inherited from President Biden, but also to look ahead at what's to come?
Yeah, well, listen, I think President Trump is exactly what he needs to do in terms of getting.
So basically, she's Donald, bro, stop just blaming Biden and just start doing.
Out there and selling this. You cannot let Democrats frame an affordability debate. It may seem, even with a newspaper level knowledge of what's going on in the economy, incredulous to some that you can hear a Democrat complaining about affordability. We all know how it is that we got there. And what I think President Trump did really well last night, Dana, is remind everybody that when you dump $6 trillion into the economy for Green New Deal scams and ramp.
All right. As soon as you did good, did well, sorry. As soon as you say that anything went well at the rally last night, you're disqualified. As soon as you say Green New Scam, New Deal, you're out. You're out. Your commentary doesn't matter anymore. What Fox News is straight up saying, it's like, hey, you need to stop blaming Biden and you need to start taking account for this economy. Well, you know, I did like that one said Trump's economy. We need to start saying that. Like if they heard their real catchphrases and little that could go viral like that, I think as Democrats we need to be a little bit better about catching on to things like that. Trump's economy is not going well. Everybody knows it. Fox News knows it. They're trying to correct the ship right now, and the things they're doing to correct the ship are not going to correct the ship. That is for sure. That's all those things that are discussion for another day, but I mean, just those things that Fox News mentioned, you know, no tax on tips, no tax on that's not really going to help. That's not really helping. Child tax credit increased. It was an extra $200 a year. None of these things, no interest on a car payment. Dude, cars are so expensive. They were expensive a few years ago. They're even more expensive now. Like a little bit less, like deducting that's not anything. So anyway, solutions, no solutions at all. They're the ones, and that's really why that matters. Whether they have solutions or not, it doesn't really matter because they're not. I'm sure the Democrats have more solutions, and they wouldn't have, if they were in power, they wouldn't have created as many fires as this administration's created already. So, it's looking not looking good for them. Stay tuned, guys. Catch you later.